Forgive if you've heard some of these before, but this one is called Fragile Still. I want to work my phone correctly. Fragile Still. I want to remember the violence, to be bathed in the mourning tears of Oglala women. I long to be part of this tortured homeland David taught me about before his return to the sky. My Ojibwe bones are healing by Minnesota waters. Unbraided hair lays delicately in this calming space, unlike the Dakota hair from the murdered bodies of nations sacrificed for a more civilized living. Sitting with Grandfather Ross, I acknowledge the season of summer I am in, both in Minnesota and in the body. Listening to a revered poet, I begin envisioning all the spiders walking to Minnesota, and I smile. Being in elements of this island, I am returning to myself, fragile still. Yet, in a wild way, it's surprising and just so damn necessary. All right, we're going to go for a long one. If you're a fan of NPWW, you are a stellar human being, and if you're not, you just have something to learn, that's all. So this one is not titled. Chapter 1. I long to lay under the moon without the haunting remorse of demons long ago. Demons who... I left my glass of that one. Demons who, like those who pretentiously sow young brown innocence in the name of a holy God. I battle those demons to this day, and the scars that have changed my skin tone, leaving me alone in this beloved city with a lingering chill. I'm used to being cold. Chapter 2. There's an honesty about bruises I admire. I have since we moved out of that yellow house in 6 Mile when the green box was still green. Bruises cannot, nor do they try to pretend to be anything other than what they are, a blatant violation of the body. They flaunt their ugliness and pride while accepting no responsibility for the destruction in their wake. They account for none of the corruption of its fragile prisoner. Bruises are arrogant. I know arrogance. Chapter 3. I released the memory of my first bruise, an immature attack on my September border body. I still replay the one I received in the dark basement in the house with that God's eye hanging on the wall. Something was taken from me in that basement. Tracings of that stolen item still cause my now 45-year-old brain to question its ability to protect itself. I was never my own. Years later, a shattered hymen staining my lilac unicorn sheets would bring me back to that dark basement. Roughly a decade after that, his intoxicated bite marks on my inner thigh returned me once again. It would be those moonless nights in a 5x9 cell that would reconcile the healing of that basement. Chapter 4. There's a sweetness about this life, a sweetness that surrenders concrete traumas from that fence-less institution. I finally laid my head down under this Minneapolis moon, reminding myself that sometimes tears are shed silently in the still of the dark. I haven't healed fully yet, but at least now I know it is possible. Okay, I'll do 2 more and then I'm going to sit back and just watch. This one is called Dogga. Alone again, prisoner within the locking of this fragile sternum, withdraw, a faithful companion, waiting, pulling, pleading, creating, havoc and separation, maybe only for eternal poetry. Returning to tar-swept rooftops, my broken virginity stills to be washed. Empty vows suffocating each new holy promise, reliant upon Jesus to relinquish, burdening the dust particles and heavy tears, no longer a remedy. I'm the one who abandons another waiting, pulling, pleading, creating. It's a seduction, scarring my pale flesh, needing the blood to release and wash. Dogma. Happy Pride Month, by the way. I'm so new to the neighborhood. I live right by Cutterham Park, and I'm sitting outside with my cat. My cat, I talk about him all the time. And I'm watching all these people go by, and I'm like, something must be happening today. This one is titled Night Writings. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I demanded my presence in this world, begging for my scars to heal without regret. I burned ceremonial mashiki, offering my weary existence to unreachable Savior, a nameless destination I yearned to belong to, only after I surrendered to how dependent I was on my absent Father. Still, I sat at his grave, rearranging ever-present anger and decades-old resentments into drunken one-night stands, warring with abstract and weak forgiveness. I walked away empty-handed, just as he did, out of my life. Thank you again so much.